Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for coming back. I'm Treasure and I am making more coasters. You can follow me at Coasted Co on Instagram. And I guess let's just get right into it. So, I'm making some Geode coasters. These are my favorite to make. You saw there that was the Crownmade Black Pearl. If you saw my previous video with the Africa shaped coasters, I used that too. And I mentioned Crownmade, and I said she makes really good Geode coasters, whether they are. They're a big hit. Everybody loves them. If you don't have some, I suggest you get some. So she makes the coasters, and like I said, she's venturing out to a whole bunch of other stuff, including the mica powders. So as you already know, I like to we'll get my stuff ready before I mix my resin. So I probably already got a cup ready for with the mica, and I also use gold flakes. I told you guys, like, I use these gold flakes so much that they are Kino making a special appearance. You just sprinkle a few in there. It kind of just depends. One time I used so much that it kind of looked crazy, but I don't know, people still like them. These are definitely one of my top sellers. A lot of folks like these. They're fun to make. And yeah, so instead of me making like four at one time, I make eight at one time because actually somebody asked me to make them a set, and I went ahead and just made a second. So, like you guys already know, I reuse everything. So you can see a bunch of cups in the back that are like 8 different colors, or it looks like paint has dried. It's actually resin. I also like to put like a little glitter, just a little bit. You know, glitter can kind of take over. So I like for the glitter to go in the middle with the gold flakes. It just gives it a little extra something. So these little silicone cups that you see, they're really good for focusing where you want to pour your resin, but they're not good long term. I think I got those from Let's Resin. You can also find those on Instagram and Amazon, but I got them from Amazon. So I start with pouring a small thin line on the outside of on the outer bits. I don't know what I'm saying. But you can see obviously. So I don't really use a lot of resin for these Geo coasters because I like for them to be kind of thin, like an agate slice. Yeah. So it's I also do like a thin top coat, and sometimes I might do a bottom coat. Dome, quote unquote doming coasters, where you pour a clear layer on the top just to give it like a nice clean finish. And I definitely do that with these because the gold flakes will stick up. Some people put them in uh, while they're pouring and not in a cup like I do. So for instance, you just kind of pour some resin in the coaster and then take the gold flakes and individually place them in the resin. And I think that might work out better because it sinks down further and you don't necessarily have to do a top coat and dome it. But I don't know, I guess I'm just a creature of habit. Once I do it one way, I just keep doing it that way. So then as you notice, like the black mica kind of like starts to go towards the middle, and some I didn't pour enough, but uh you pour the gold flake and glitter mixture in the middle, and then you just go back again with some more black mica. I wish I had a bigger silicone cup so that way I didn't have to keep making a mixture of the black mica. I could have just had like a big cup and did it, but I like how squeezable the little cup is, and I don't have a bigger one. I'll probably have to get that. Anyway, so this is sped up, so I'm not mixing this fast. But remember, you guys, not to mix super fast because you don't want to create bubbles. Bubbles are inevitable, but you know there's ways to prevent them. So I had a little issue because I still wasn't mixing enough resin and it still wasn't coming together. Like there would be, I guess, holes of just space. You can see that in the one I just did, and see I'm running out of resin. I'm probably gonna mix more or just use clear. I'm not sure, but I was hoping that the mica powder would kind of, if you work with micas, you know that it kind of come towards the middle, kind of like comes together, it pulls, and it makes a really cool effect when you pour clear in the middle. I might have waited too long to pour these because it didn't do that for me. If you wait too long, your resin starts to thicken up, and the resin I was using didn't really have much working time. So maybe if I had did it like right after I poured, I could have maybe experienced that I guess technique that I was going for, but it didn't really happen. Anyways, I started to notice that some have more flakes than others, so I started to kind of like pick up some and put them in another. Like I said, I was really hoping that the black would kind of like move more, and it just kind of stayed there. So I didn't really like that. They still turned out really great, but I was hoping for more movement. And sometimes, if you have extra resin left over from, different colors that you mix, it's good to have like a little mold near that you can pour into, so that way you don't have to waste your resin, because resin is expensive and I believe in getting the very last drop. So if you notice in the bottom right, it's like a little blue mold. I think those are leaves, and I turned those into magnets. So I just pour whatever extra I have into that, and sometimes it could take weeks before well, not weeks, you guys, but maybe a couple days, maybe a week or so before I have a completed magnet, and it turns out cool because it's like different colors. You can play with it and do like different techniques. But yeah, don't ever waste your resin if you have some left over. But I'm sure you guys don't, because we all know how expensive resin is. So, gonna take a second to talk about safety. Make sure you guys wear your gloves and your masks and even an apron to protect your clothes. It's important to wear a mask. I promise you, you don't want long-term effects. We don't know the long-term effects of using this chemical. I was using a baby wipe there. There's my Black & Decker heat gun. I will link down below my Amazon favorite list, so that way you can see the products that I use consistently. I use them all the time, and that way you guys can like pick and choose what you want to use, or see if there's something that you like, or if you think that there's something that I might benefit from. Please let me know. I would appreciate it, because I could always use help. I'm here to help. I'm not one of those artists that just kind of keeps secrets to themselves. But anyway, you see, I'm adding more. I'm adding more because I'm just not satisfied with how it looks. But anyways, so I will go back after these dry in a day and do a top coat, because those gold flakes stick up. And that's pretty much it for these until you do the edging. Now here's me edging them with the oil pen. I think it's by Krylon. It's oil based, and it's a gold gilding pen. I got a 3-pack from Amazon, silver gold and like a rose gold or bronze. And I do this with the pen, and then I go over it with some, I can't remember what it is, but it's something that's supposed to hold the gold in place. I'll also link that below. I can't remember for the life of me what it is. But yeah, those are the Africa coasters that I did in my last video that I edged. And here are some photos. of the finished product. I really like these. They're just so gorgeous and so fun to make. Thank you so much for listening to me rant. You guys have a good day. Bye.